Hi, my name is Maciej Moskwa and I'm based in Gdansk in Poland. I'm professional photographer since 10 years nowadays and that's it. Uh, Definitely I am photojournalist, I am documentary photographer. My main point of interest is like human condition, people and places which I dreamed about to see since I was a kid. It might sound awkward or weird, but I don't have any particular name in my head because I think in total documentary photography and photo reportage is like a common work of so many people and it's not even a matter of taste. I think that it's so complex that there is no need to mention any single or particular name. Even if I like good bits of names, I wouldn't mention a single one which is like most influential for me. I can say from my experience that a good part of photograph or about for our work is a situation when you really care about something. I found that the best stories which I went into, these were stories where I have to cross the line of comfort zone, when I had to sacrifice something because I really cared about the story, about the people or about the place, and that's the thing. And the other situation is that a time. I found that each time when I had to spend a little bit more hours or more days or even weeks in a place with people, it brings me closer to a good story. So I'd say, as in many aspects of the life, sacrifice very often is a part of creating good images and good stories. Nowadays, technical aspects of photography, we can create pictures with our phones, with many other technical items, but we will not create a story if we don't have an understanding and awareness what we are doing and why. This is the most important question for me, why I'm concentrated on showing some other people's story. Do I have right to do it? And very often, and it comes after a time, understanding that we can't use some other people's stories for our benefit just to create ourselves as like authors or artists. We always need to have this question: what will happen after we will show this story? So it's a very harsh thing and difficult, and I'm fighting with it every day. Now I think it's gonna be like next step for my development, to be more aware why I'm doing photography, why I'm showing particular stories, and what is the impact of showing it. So I think we're gonna be better photographers if we will develop more questions, like inner questions, rather than we get a skills of understanding how camera works, because finally we have like one button on the device and everyone can press a button, but not everyone can create a good story with narration. In my photographic life, it happened that a few times by luck and by sacrifice, actually, I would say, I could create a good image in very little time. 2 years ago, I was in a Turkish Kurdish town called Suruc. And late in the night, I went to a refugee camp where I was kicked out from the camp, and I had these few seconds to take one picture. There was a boy named Hasun. He was like staring at me just from the behind of the fence. So it was just like few seconds, 5 shots, and really strong image, and that's it. So okay, that was a luck because I was able to be in a place, but it was also kind of will,
Instinct.
maybe instinct. Yeah, I mean it's like very often if we are like concentrated and if we develop this this answer actually in a head. Okay, I'm here. Why? Because I need to show the story. So I was like really concentrated on showing a story of this camp and people living there and the conditions. So in total, I closed it in a frame, one frame, and it was very important picture for me. And even since these 2 years, still I have in a head that I want to find this boy again, maybe in Kobane, because I know he was from Kobane in Syria, and spend more time with him. So sometimes this situation which is only few seconds for you, and photography is mostly about very short shutter times, but we as like people, we can develop it, we can upgrade it and spend more time with people. So from this 1/10,000th of the second or 125th of the second, we can go to hours or weeks spending with people. So it doesn't matter if you have just a very short time, because as a human being you can always spend more and more time. It's up to you. Mm-hmm. It's proposing work to editors. On the one hand, is most crucial thing and a very hard part of our work, because after all this joy of being in the field, then we need to end up in front of computer with a phone, writing emails. In Poland, in reality, sometimes honestly it's similar to like begging for a publication. Very often we photographers, we don't even get a reply from photo editors, but it's all about trying hard and of course about what we have to propose. Just recently I started to develop like good connection with few living editors, and it's end up just with sending a piece of work, and that's it. And it sounds like okay, you say that it was hard because they don't reply, and now you say you just send them and it's fine, but that's true. It took me many years. So now maybe I was just stubborn, and many times I just pressed this enter with this long email and previews, but this is how it goes. And let's remember that now there are like millions of photographers, and we always need to have in mind who is that person on the other side. Probably he's like watching thousands of pictures each week, different stories. Everyone thinks his story is the most important, so we really need to have a like good reason to take someone's attention.
Yeah.
And that's it. But I believe that if the reason is good, we're gonna be successful sooner or later. And the last thing, even if we fail with editors, let's try not to lose hope in the strength of publication, because in current times we have abilities to have our own voice, especially in the internet, and sometimes our audience can reach thousands of people. The bad thing is that we're not gonna be paid, but yeah, that's a limit. That's true. I would advise to young photographers or beginners exactly the same thing which I advise to myself. Just concentrate on things you love or you care. If you think your uncle is doing great work in a garden, make a documentary, show his passion, show his emotions. Always passion and emotions are a good key to have a like rich story. But if something is painful for you and you think you can fight with your camera, just go ahead, do it. But if you think that something is in fashion, showing poverty, but you don't care about poverty, don't go this way, because you just burn trust of the people. So just take your heart and use your camera. Otherwise, probably you're gonna just repeat things which already happened and gonna happen million times again. So that's my advice, and this is advice also for me, because it's very easy to forget about it and then you fail. I would say that the biggest lessons for me, it's always moment of the shame, because camera is a powerful tool, and very often you can hurt people with your camera. And you can lose trust from the people with your camera. So I'll give you examples about how you should listen to your inner voice, your heart, and your instinct. 3 months ago, I went to Mogadishu with Polish Humanitarian Action, and I was able to visit place very atmospheric coffee roasting place where people roast coffee in traditional way. And there was this beautiful lady, like very noble person, like kind of old one, hardworking. And at the moment when I saw her, I knew I need to take a portrait of that lady. But we were in a hurry, and I knew that being in a hurry will not help me. And there was this guy behind her, and he said like, take a picture of her, take a picture of her. And I was rude because I never asked, I didn't make enough eye contact, yes. And I just grabbed a camera, and suddenly she went away. She didn't want any interaction, any picture. So I break a rule of being polite, and this is a lesson. This is a lesson when you lose your photographs, when you lose your connection with your instinct, which says you need to be like basically kind of at least polite and good, and don't be a hunter with your camera. And I'm learning, everyone is learning with these situations. So, and I felt ashamed. So shame for me is a like biggest teacher. It's not glamorous, so I wouldn't say. Maybe there are like lucky ones, but this is like a very small amounts. And making story short, it's hard work, and if there is a time for glamorous thing, it might happen from time to time, but it's not a constant situation. Yeah, I think that's it. No, it's not an easy question because I don't think about it much. Actually it's the other thing. We shouldn't care too much about what is said about this profession, because in fact there is a lot of myths. But maybe the problem is that sometimes we create these myths. I believe that's the challenge to answer this question, not only for me, and I wish that the answer it's not gonna be only from me, because I wish to have impact with my photographs. Impact on someone's life. So I think I really count that someone someday will say that this guy made some photographs which made me thinking about the issue, or which made me like acting in some way. So that's my question, if it ever happened that my photographs, my stories will bring some action in the future. I'm not old, definitely, but I have this instinct that sometime in the future I'm gonna turn to be an early bird, and I know it's possible.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you're productive in the evening.
Definitely.
And you get up late.
I do
Really?
get up late. From time to time, I need to wake up very early. Either it's work which needs to be done, or I'm going for like fishing or for a trip. Yeah, trip is a thing which really motivates me to wake up early.
Yeah.
Haha, my favorite food. Yeah, since childhood, the most common dish is a Polish potato chopped and turned into be a French fry. So yeah, it's always work, but I must say that with age I develop new tastes. So when I was kid, I absolutely hated olives, and I hated fish. Now I'm great fan of olives. I absolutely love fish, and recently I became a master in preparing miso soup.
Oh, good.
So yep, I'm very egoistic saying I'm master, but I really like it. But French fry is gonna be a dish, yeah, which gonna be like it could be tattoo on my hand, whatever. Oh gosh, no favorite movie. I don't watch TV since I don't know. I think it's over 15 years. I don't go to cinema. I don't watch anything on DVD, on internet. Sounds very like awkward. Yeah, but I don't, and I don't have. It's the same situation as with the name of the like the best photographer or the favorite photographer. It doesn't exist. It's like it's up to mood, and I think I'm very lazy because watching a movie, it means that you need to be concentrated for an hour, 2 or 3, and I'm always like, I'm not that much concentrated, so it's weird though, but well, this is me.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm kind of person which adjusts music to a mood. So again, no a single favorite artist, but very often I end up with my YouTube challenge, and it can start with Irish folk and Sinead O'Connor, going up to Aphex Twins, across the Mali folk and a few ska tunes. The world of music is so rich, and that's another thing that when I post-process my photographs, sometimes I prefer to make it in perfect silence, but sometimes I need some like atmosphere, and I think it's like upgrading a little bit of not creativity, but maybe awareness, what I want to reach with post-processing, even though I don't post-process too much, because I believe that we don't need post-process so much. So yeah, music is good for a mood and sometimes a bit for a Lightroom.